So we're going to continue, we're going to kind of cover some of the stuff we covered last week and then build upon that. But last week we started talking about Truest Truth, and the reason we started talking about this is I realized that in just about every service, every talk we have, I tell you to live your truth, know your truth, understand your truth. What is your truth? And so we started describing some of that. What I want you to know is this truth thing, it's not a competition. It's not a comparison. You know, we tend to think, well, they're living their truth, so I've got to be like that. Or they're not in their truth, so none of that. There is one truth that is true for everyone. And that truth is the union of you or that person, the oneness with God. Period. That's your truth. So I just saved y'all a whole bunch of time. You don't have to go find a whole bunch of books on truth and start reading them. They may help you understand better, but what you need to know, and you, it's kind of like if you don't have a destination, any path will get you there. You know, you'll be wandering wild if you don't have a destination. But when you know where you're going, you can pick the path to get there. You know, Kathy and I went to Florida a couple of months ago. We picked a path that made it take us 4 days to get there. You know, I used to drive that in 1 day. But we stopped about 4 or 5 times along the way. Spent the night. We picked a path, knowing what our destination was. Well, the good news here is that your destination is just understanding your truth. And you can pick the path that you take to greater understanding. Your truth, you are one with God. The beautiful thing about this is that while everybody's truth is the exact same thing, everybody's demonstration of that truth is unique. God being infinite means that the expression of God is also infinite. And since the expression of God is also infinite, and since we are expressions of God, we don't have to do it like anybody else. You are unique. Everybody brings something different to the table, and the expression of your truest truth is a gift to the world. When I am expressing as my truest self, capital S, we're going to talk about self here in a little bit. There's a little s and a capital S. Little s is the human self that we've come to believe we are. Capital S is the divine true self that is us. When I'm expressing as my divine truth, my self, I am a gift to anyone I come in contact, and so are you. So last week we talked about what's meant by these statements, and we covered a few things, but I think that what we just talked about pretty well summarizes it all. But the first step to knowing those truths is just bringing your thoughts into consciousness. We talk about this so often, but it's so important. We bring them into consciousness, and then, like that path I talked about earlier, we have choices to make. We can choose to bring that thought into consciousness. When we see what we're really thinking, when we know what we're really thinking, then we can align it with truth. That assists our expression of our truth. And we know we're aligning it with truth when it is a thought of love, of peace, of joy, a non-judgmental thought. The way we do that, the way we bring these thoughts into consciousness is aligning yourself or asking yourself what you're thinking in this moment, tuning into the feelings that you have in this moment, because when you know the feelings, you know whether your thoughts are aligned or out of alignment with good, with divine, with God. Positive affirmations, positive thoughts, consciously doing that helps bring things into alignment. Last week we also talked about the greatest deterrent of knowing, experiencing, and expressing your truth. And that deterrent is allowing our human thoughts to have power over the divine thoughts, to have power over the intuitive knowing that we all have. When we tune in more to self, we're taking ourselves out of alignment. When we perceive and express from our truest nature, we allow love and light to shine unconditionally. And we allow God expression to radiate from us. God is love, therefore God expression is love, therefore you as an expression of God are love. It is so simple to sit up here and say all that. A little more difficult to live it. Not impossible, just difficult. And it truly is a change of thought processes. Tuning into your thoughts, changing your thought processes. As we live in this omnipresent love, as we express from this love, as we experience through this love that's everywhere present. That's the thing you need to know, is you don't have to go looking for this love. You don't have to look at a situation and say, okay, where's the love in that? The love is already there. So save yourself steps. You know, we have to get our human mind wrapped around something we see in a situation, saying, okay, I gotta find the love in this, and then I can understand it all. We do this through our human thinking. If we stop and we just say, there's love in that, and we have faith that there is love in that, because we have to have faith that God is in that. If we don't have faith that God is in that, then what's the use of showing up here on Sunday morning? What's the use of looking for love? We have to have that faith. We do. I truly believe that we all believe that God is everywhere present, which means that love is everywhere present, which means that in every situation, even these horrible storms that we've been seeing, in every situation there is love. We don't have to go and try to prove it. We can have faith that love is there. And when we start having faith that love is there, we can start seeing the situation through eyes of love. Once we start seeing through eyes of love instead of trying to prove that love is there, we take away a lot of the work. And we can actually start focusing on love and sending love deeper into it. That changes our experience. That changes our expression. Opening to our truth, we begin to understand that the Christ mind is the experience of God within. Okay? We talked about the Christ mind a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week a little bit. I can't remember now. I get sidetracked. The Christ mind is not something that we have to develop. The Christ mind is already God mind. That is already within us. We need not go and try to learn it. We need simply to start tearing down the things that stand between us and there that we have put there. That's a very important lesson to learn. Life. God did not build this wall in front of us, in between us and our pure truth. We built it. And no matter how high we built it, it is still there. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Last week we also mentioned, and this was important enough that I wanted to bring it back today, we mentioned a statement from Dr. Deepak Chopra. He said, you are, and listen very careful to these words because this is so important, you are pure awareness that lies at the heart of all existence. You are pure awareness that lies at the heart of all existence. As one with God, as an expression of God, this statement is one of the truest statements you can grasp and hold dear to your heart. You are pure awareness. that lies at the heart of all existence. There's no separation between you and God. Therefore, there's no separation between you and any of existence. Your truest self, capital S, knows it is infinite. It knows that its essential nature is unbounded love and joy and peace. It knows it is fully one with God. So, if my truest self knows all of this, why do I feel like I'm separate sometimes? Why do I feel like life is bad? Why do I feel like we can do this all day long? It's because of what that psalm talked about we listened to earlier, the wall. We truly have built a wall in our lives. We're chugging along, we're going along just fine, we're going through life thinking everything's perfect, and boom, run headlong into a wall. This wall can take the shape of many different things. But what I would like for you to do, and we're going to do a little visualization here in a minute, I would like for you to picture this wall being made of bricks or stone. Okay? Because the wall truly does seem impenetrable sometimes. It's made out of some tough stuff. Now, sometimes that wall looks like all of it is health stuff. Well, my health is doing this, which means it's blocking me from living my truest self. Or my finances are such. And, the wall looks sometimes to take the shape of one thing. But it's not. It's not. If you have health problems, there's also some other things going on. If you have financial problems, there's also some other things going on. And it all comes back to thought processes and beliefs. If you truly believe that you have financial problems, somewhere along the line there are also thoughts and beliefs that you are not enough, that you are not worthy, that you don't deserve. Those are all part of this. Okay? The good news about this wall, not really good news about your spiritual truth, I should say, is on one side of the wall, we have our human self, that little s. We have our human self. This is the life experiences. This is what we think of ourselves. The song that I mentioned talks about all I am. When it says, I'm living all I am, that's the human side that I have created. Up until now, my life, and yours too, has been a culmination of experiences that you learn things and you have created beliefs and thoughts about all of life. Then you have this wall, and on the other side of the wall is truth. The other side of the wall is divine, divinity. It is lacking of any judgment, any fear, any negativity whatsoever. It is truth. Now the good news here, your truth is as present on the human side as it is on the other side. We just fail to see it when our thought processes and our belief system is all on the human side. We can break free anytime we like. We perceive life, the happenings of life, through the thought processes we have learned. The key is that we can change. Now, we look at this wall and we say, man, I'm too weak to do that. No, you're not. Whatever your belief about you is right now, I want you to know you are enough. Because your truth is infinite. You're already enough. You don't have to go seeking something about yourself to be enough to tackle that wall, to scale it, to tear it down, to go around it, whatever the case may be, whatever you choose to do. You're already enough. I like the words in the song where it says, it's talking about the wall, and it says, on this side I'm all I'm all that I am, and on this side is all I ever want to be. See, to me, that wall is the barrier that prevents us from perceiving that all I am truly is everything that I want to be. We think it's this journey that we have to go gain something else. We already have it. We just have to open recognition to it, open awareness to it. And then the song also tells us there is no loss. So no matter what you choose to do on this path, on this journey, there's not a loss. Because if you learn even one tiny little thing about yourself, if you open one tiny little bit of understanding about yourself, if you don't do anything at all, there's no loss. You can't go backwards. You may choose to pick a different belief, but that's your choice. You can't go backwards. You can only move forward. We have one absolute truth, and that is found in knowing yourself on the deepest of levels. It's not that you have to develop it. That's the key. We often get so caught up in reading in our studies, thinking that we've got to go get something else so that we can be all that we can be, so that we can be our true self. You're already your true self. So this demonstration that I wanted to do with you is I'm going to ask you to do this visualization for a moment. And we're going to do it very quickly, but I challenge you when you get home to do it some more, to expand on it. So I want you to just go ahead and center yourself, begin your breathing. If you choose to close your eyes, you can. You can keep your eyes open if you want. But just begin your breathing. Just know that you're breathing in. Know that you're breathing out. And I want you to picture yourself walking down a path and coming upon this wall that we've been talking about. And see this wall made of bricks or stones. See it and just know how incredibly strong and massive it has appeared throughout your life. Now I want you to look at these bricks or these stones and to notice that they're labeled. And one of these might be, I withheld love. And there might be several with that title on it. And if you're with me on this, see yourself removing that stone or that brick that says, I withheld love. You may see another stone that said, I believed in a power other than God. If you believe that God is the only power, reach up and remove that stone. Reach up, take that brick. Just pull it out. There may be another stone that says, I felt betrayed. Well, knowing that you're the only one that can make yourself feel betrayed because you have a choice on how you feel, reach up there and take that brick or that stone. You may have believed at some point that you felt less than or that you lacked. And there might be a stone with that label on it. Reach up and take that one down. And there may have been a time that you expressed anger over love. See the brick that has that label and take it down. Now, looking at your wall, you see these holes. If it didn't make a hole big enough to walk through, you see holes that you can look through. And I want you to look at the other side. Know that the other side is your truest self with no limitations of perception. You now have a wall that can be taken down. You just proved it. You just pulled some bricks or some stones out of it. And if you can pull some out, you can pull all out. So look through that. All that you have ever believed you were searching for is right there. It's already within. You're not going to it. You are removing what has blocked you from seeing it, from experiencing it. So when you give yourself permission, I want you to revisit this. And I want you to remove more of these blocks. Remove anything that stands in your way from realizing all that you ever wanted to be is already within. So go ahead and come back to this room now. Just open your eyes. This is a process you can do. It's simple. Be careful not to judge yourself when you look at these bricks and you start realizing some of the things that you put up there might not be so pretty. No judgment. Take it down. Because your truth is that you are absolutely perfect expression of God. The small is, the small self, the ego, built all of this. Not to destroy you, but to protect you from what the ego believed would harm you. The ego is what we use as a spiritual being to experience this physical world. And to the physical world, this whole spiritual thing sometimes seems scary, so the ego starts building these walls to protect us. No judgment. Take the wall down and live to your fullest. When you're doing this, and anytime you can think of it, just remember that in this moment, in this present moment, all is well. If you ever feel anxious or fearful, all is well right now. Just come back to this moment. Just breathe into it, and all is well. So continue this practice. Expand your knowing and experience of your truest truth. And again, it's not some big elaborate thing you've got to go learn. Your truth is you are one with God. You are absolute perfect love. And you can choose to feel that anytime you choose. Let's pray. Father God, we are grateful for this experience that we call life. Each moment of each day offers opportunity to awaken further awareness of our inseparable relationship with Spirit, with Christ consciousness, and with God eternal. Each experience invites us closer to pure enlightenment and deeper understanding of our inseparable unity with God and all things. As we continue awakening more deeply to our undeniable truth, our complete self, we ask to be guided in serving all of life wholly and mindfully. We choose to no longer live the fear-based existence, and we rise up in love and peace that are our true power. We effect positive change on this world through our love, through our kindness, through our joy for all. We recognize our oneness in God, our unity with all things. We honor the divine in each person we meet. We honor God in every moment of this life. Knowing that God is all things, knowing that there is no separation, we express our complete and perfect gratitude for this truth. As we share our truth, we allow truth to elevate and expand within us and from us. In sharing love and peace, we create more and deeper love and peace. We know all of this and even more to be true, and so it is.